दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना। पढ़ाई हो जो करनी, जरा भी ना घबराना, गोल्डन बुक्स को अपनाना, अपना इंडिया गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना। कक्षा विषय कोई हो आसान समझ पाना, गोल्डन ही तो है सफलता का पैमाना। गोल्डन ही ला रहा है चेहरे पे मुस्कुराना, मैं गोल्डन का दीवाना, अपना इंडिया बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना।
Golden presents our best-selling study material for mathematics. Main features of Golden books are: all the books are based on latest NCERT textbooks and are as per the latest syllabus of CBSE. Important points have been given for each chapter for quick revision. Solution of all the NCERT textual exercises are given. Other important questions for practice and examinations are also given in a very simple language. Objective type question bank is given, which include MCQs, fill in the blanks with answers. Buy Golden books for your golden future.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of New Age International Publishers, I welcome all the distinguished teachers participating in the webinar on the latest NCERT Class IX Mathematics book, Ganita Manjari, Part 1. I feel immense pleasure in informing you that the webinar is being attended by teachers from across India. This webinar is hosted by New Age International Publishers. New Age International Publishers is a leading publishing house for more than 60 years. Till date, it has published more than 4,000 titles for school as well as college books. I take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Soumya Gupta. Soumya sir is BE Chemical and MS Publishing from New York. He is the Managing Director of the New Age International and is looking after the publishing house for the last 20 years. Under his able guidance and entrepreneurship, New Age has achieved new heights every single day. His vision is to make students not only literate but well educated and ideal human beings by publishing best quality books for them. Now I request Soumya sir to kindly join us and say a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I express my heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished teachers participating in this mathematics webinar today. Special thanks to Shri Rajesh Singh sir, who will be subject matter expert for the webinar. Special thanks also to Mrs. Vihar, who will conduct today's webinar, along with all the participants who will contribute their valuable insights for a meaningful discussion on the subject of mathematics today. I am immensely happy to share you that around 100 participants have already joined the webinar today so far, and as the webinar progresses, more faculties will join. Now I will give you brief background about Golden and New Age. Golden books by New Age International Publishers have established a nationwide identity across India since last more than 50 years. Golden books are based on NCERT curriculum and designed as per the latest CBSE syllabus. These books are praised not only by teachers and students but also by parents. Even the smallest changes made to the CBSE curriculum and the NCERT textbooks are incorporated into Golden books as quickly as possible so that students and teachers do not face any difficulties. The company's marketing branch is located in all major cities of India. The company publishes all types of books for school segment. Golden study material for classes 1st to 5th are based on mathematics NCERT books Joyful and Maths Mela. Similarly, for 6th to 10th, Golden Math study material is based on new NCERT textbooks Ganita Prakash and Ganita Manjari. We also publish Golden Maths workbook, which are based on NCERT 1 to 5th class, Joyful and Maths Mailer. These books are becoming very popular. Similarly, 6 to 8 workbooks of mathematics are also strictly based on new NCERT, Ganita Manjari and Ganita Prakash, and they are also becoming very popular in the market. We also publish best-selling series of textbooks by name of Adventure. This textbook series is from class 1st to 10th and is recommended in many prestigious schools across India. New Age also publishes books on mental maths, and we are one of the first publishers to publish books on Vedic maths from class 1st to 5th. New Age has many textbook series in all major subjects. Now, after the end of the webinar, we will provide a certificate to all the participants attending this webinar. This certificate could be downloaded after filling out the feedback form at the end of this webinar. We hope that this webinar will be very useful to all the mathematics faculties and will enlighten us all on latest developments in mathematics, new curriculum for class 9th. I thanks once again. Now over to Rachna ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us an insight into what New Age International Publishers is doing and what wonderful work you people are doing in the field of education. Now, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Rajesh Singh Chauhan, sir. Mr. Rajesh Singh Chauhan, MA, B.Ed, BSc Honours, MBA, is an experienced mathematics educator with around 38 years of experience at various academic levels. He has been a teacher and he has authored over 200 books and edited more than 100 books, which covers school curricula, competitive exams, and other educational fields. As a resource person for more than 170 workshops, he has trained and inspired numerous teachers and students in effective mathematics teaching methodologies. Currently, Mr. Singh works as a freelance author, editor, and workshop resource person, continuing to contribute to the advancement of mathematics education. Welcome, Mr. Rajesh Singh Chauhan, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, ma'am. As ma'am has told you, I have 38 years of experience. Now, that experience means that I have learned every day in the classroom. And whatever I have learned, before I go to the other world, I want to distribute it amongst all the teachers, as many teachers as I can. So wherever I go for workshops, I naturally try to tell the teachers what my experiences are rather than telling them something from pedagogy or theory or this or that. Most of the time I am talking about my experiences. Now, about 6 months back, I was asked with a task to start writing this book. So I collected my team and we started writing this book. Now, what is this book all about? Let us come straight to the point. I'll have to share my screen first of all. Now, this is the book we are actually talking about, Golden Maths, study material on Ganit Prakash, based on, sorry, not Ganit Prakash, Ganit Manjari. Ganit Prakash is for 6, 7, 8, not for this purpose. Now, what was the purpose of writing the book? First of all, it is a supplementary resource material. It is not a replacement for the book. I am not saying that don't buy Ganit Manjari, buy this. I am not saying that. We are like resource material which is going to support whatever you are going to teach in class 9th textbook. So first of all, what we do is we provide a very clear and a concise understanding of concepts. Now, we are not talking about stories and all those things. Now, those experiences you have to give to the student depend from place to place. So in your city, it could be different. In my city, it could be different. So we have left that for you. And we have only provided a clear and a concise understanding of the concepts. Now, how those concepts have to be played upon, I will discuss during this discussion. Second is that we are providing a textbook solution, step-by-step textbook solution. All questions have been answered because there are many questions which students will struggle with, teachers will struggle with. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but naturally it will take time. And many of them have some or other kind of problem with them. So just to take care of that, we have provided the step-by-step solution also. There are some misconceptions which are there I just received some queries from teachers, and I could see that whatever I am going to tell, they are asking me that. So we are practically thinking on the same line. Then there is additional practice, and it will save your preparation time, your teacher's preparation time. So let me come to content part of it. What is the content? Now, all of you have seen the book and you are very well aware of what is the content. First chapter. Now, first of all, titles of the chapters are not straightforward as they used to be. Like in earlier class 9th or class 10th book, the title was coordinate geometry. Now it is orienting yourself the use of coordinates, something like this. Or you can see as chapter 5, I am up, down, I am round and round. So instead of calling simply circles, there is a long phrase which is there. Anyway, I don't understand what is the purpose for it, but there must be some good purpose for it. So coming to the chapter on coordinate geometry, now what is there is that it is the same one as it was there in 9th, plus some part from class 10th has also been taken. Like from class 10th, we have taken what is called the distance formula. But they have avoided the section formula. So most likely in class 10th, section formula will be taught as a precursor to this, after to this. Now, very interesting thing is that section formula is missing, but there is a question based on trisection of the connection of 2 points. That means trisect a line segment. Point A is given, point B is given, and you are asked to find the points of trisection of line segment AB. Now, this is a question of section formula, but section formula is not given. So, there are two choices. One is that we give the section formula, which is not mentioned in the syllabus. And second is that we avoid the question, or somehow we say, okay, this is not out of syllabus or something like that. Now, we haven't done that. Also, we have not used the section formula, but we have developed a new technique by which, without even using the section formula, you can find it out. So when you go through this chapter, you will be able to find out how it has been done. So it's extremely new. I wish I had used it when I was a teacher. I retired 3 years ago. I used to teach there, class 10th also. So I wish earlier this had come to my mind. It didn't come because that time we had that section formula also. So it could be easily used. Second chapter is about introduction to linear polynomials. Now this chapter comes from chapter 2 of the book we were using earlier. But then remainder theorem and factor theorem are not there. Only the first part of the chapter where they mentioned about polynomials, etc. is there. But there are many new inputs which are there. They have talked about linear relationships. Now, linear relationship is nothing new. It is same as y equal to mx plus c, y equal to 2x plus 3 or something like that. So we have already done that, but we never called it as a linear relationship. Then it talks about very practical things we observe in everyday life. That is the linear decay. Or we talk about something like linear decay. Like I have put some money in my wallet, and every time I go on spending money, my wallet money will keep on reducing. Suppose I have to pay 20 rupees as a transport charge or 30 rupees as a transport charge from my wallet every day. So if my wallet had 500 rupees, every day it is reducing by 30, 30, 30 and so on. So that is what is called linear decay. So things like these. Then there are also talking about slope, y-intercept, which we talk in class 11th. But the discussion, now this doesn't mean that 11th class syllabus is there. Now syllabus is always in a flux. Something goes up, something goes down. So they talk about slope and y-intercept and such things like this. So they come from class 11th syllabus, but they can be very, very easily handled, as you will see in the book. Then there is a third chapter called the world of numbers. Now this is a very interesting chapter. It starts with this large discussion on pi, that how pi evolved. So if you are giving a project work to the student, because we have to give some project work or something to the student, and if your project is based on history of mathematics, as you can see that national education policy talks about rootedness in India and Indian education systems, IEK or Indian knowledge system, sorry. So if you are focusing on that, then this is a very good thing for a project work. Like, for example, you can talk about history of pi, where pi evolved. Pi did not evolve in India only, pi evolved everywhere else also. Pi was evolving in Greece also, pi was evolving in Mesopotamia also, and so on. So many discussions are there. So you can go into that. that what are the discussions. Then Ramanujan had also said something about pi. So you can discuss all those things as pi, that why is pi 22 by 7? Pi is not 22 by 7. Pi is 22 by 7 is an approximation of pi. Exact value of pi is not known to anybody. So all that is discussed in the first part of the chapter. Then it talks about then it talks about rational numbers, integers, and those things which were there already in class 9th and 10th. Most of it is there. Little bit here and there it will shift. Otherwise, mostly it is from the 9th and 10th part together. You see the book, most of the syllabus, there is hardly any new syllabus. There is new syllabus, but not too much. Most of the syllabus is kind of a recycling of 9th and 10th. Maybe other places also. Chapter 4 is about algebraic identities. If you remember in chapter 2, the second part, earlier it was introduction to polynomial, etc. Then they talked about factor theorem, remainder theorem, and they talked about identities. So it is exactly the same part, identities, which is here. There's hardly anything new as far as this is concerned. So one new thing has been discussed. That is what is called the algebra tiles. That's a very interesting concept. So if you don't, we have explained it very well in the book. But if you want to read more about it, you can easily put it on the net. You will easily get many beautiful diagrams which will come out. So algebra tiles. Algebra tiles will again be used in class 10th. Right now, of course, I can guess from that algebra tile will be used for factorization, etc. in class 10th also. Not right now here. And then they have, there used to be a topic called algebraic expressions in class 8th, where you had to factorize and then cancel some things like x square minus 1 over x plus 1 into x plus 2. So naturally x minus 1 will get, x plus 1 will get cancelled. This used to be there in class 8th. So again, here it is there and you can use it. I mean, you can, this is nothing new for you. From 8th, it has come to class 9th. Now comes a very interesting chapter. I am up, I am down, round and round. I'm talking about circles. Circles is the same as it used to be in the earlier class. There's hardly any change. There are two new topics which have been put into it. One is the circumcircle, the other is the incircle. Now, why they have put it here? Because in the next chapter, they want you to find the area, radius, etc. of circumcircle and incircle. So that is why they have put it. Otherwise, remaining thing is exactly the same. There is nothing, no change in this otherwise. Coming to chapter number 6. So here, this is a wonderful chapter. I really enjoyed reading it and writing it. It's a mixture of many things. Now, if you, all of you, I don't know how many of you have been teaching for more than 10 years or so. Earlier, there used to be before this book came, which we are using right now, till last year, there was another book in which there was a chapter on area. So I think that must be at least 10 years or 15 years back. So in that, they discussed about theoretical things related to area. Like area of a triangle, like if two triangles are on same base and between same parallels, then they will be equal in area. ये सब पहले बहुत आता था. ऐसे ही कुछ concepts थे. कई, about 6 or 7 concepts like these used to be there. So they all have been brought back. Now, why this has been done? This has been done to promote cognitive thinking. Like if you have read about NEP and NCF, now whatever NEP and NCF says, that has been wonderfully used in this entire textbook. There are some problems this book has, so I'll come to those problems. Of course, it was not their intention, but perhaps they did not have that much time, or maybe they did not visualize that what students need. So we'll try to cover that up also. Then circumcircle, incircle, again, what is the radius of circumcircle? What is the radius of incircle? How will you find area and all those things? These are also there. It discusses problems from class 10th. There used to be a chapter called area of circles. From that also, many things have been picked. That is practically the whole chapter has been put here. It is already here. So what we were teaching in 10th, now we have to teach it here also. Here also, not also. Now we have to teach it here. 10th, it will be something else. Remember that class 9th is always more difficult than class 10th. Class 11th is always more difficult than class 12th. Now, some teachers tell me that board doesn't want that class 10th many people should fail, so that is why it is like that. I don't know exactly what could be the reason. I don't think this can be the reason, but anyway, whatever they say. So, This is maybe one of the reasons. So this chapter takes inputs from class 8th also, 9th also, 10th also. All three classes it takes inputs. And from that is how this chapter is a huge chapter. Now, when you start teaching this chapter, it will take at least 20 days for you to teach it. I'm saying at least, it could take more. Because each and every question is such that you will have to discuss it. Students are not going to do it independently themselves. So it is better you discuss it. Of course, some of them can, but I'm focusing on the very average student or below average student. They will not be perhaps able to do it. So obviously, you will have to help them to do it. So that is why I say that this chapter will take at least 20 days to complete. Last two chapters are very interesting chapters, and you will enjoy teaching them. The last 7th chapter, that is the chapter is on probability, as it says, maybe the mathematics or maybe introduction to probability. So at least they have mentioned what they want to tell you in this, or what they want you to teach in this chapter. Introduction to probability. Now, a few years back, before rationalization took place during COVID, there used to be a book. In that book, we were having empirical or experimental probability in class 9, and there used to be classical and theoretical probability in class 10. During rationalization, what happened, that chapter on probability vanished. Perhaps they wanted to reduce the syllabus. People don't have time to study, or many children might have been sick, or whatever may be the reason. So thankfully now COVID has gone and gone forever. So naturally they are again trying to restructure the syllabus. So this year, this chapter has both classical probability as well as experimental probability. Experimental probability, I think, is the true probability, because things keep changing. I toss a coin 10 times, I get heads 8 times, so my probability of head is 8 by 10. You toss the coin 10 times, same coin maybe, you get it only 6 times, so for you the probability is 6 by 10. Probability keeps varying. Most likely it will come to something like 5 by 10 or something round about that. But anyway, this is what is experimental probability. Means based on some observations. Classical probability is theoretical. That means, okay, coin is tossed, half the chance it will be head, half the chance it will be tail. So how can you say that? Is actually there a fair coin in practice? I don't think so. Any coin can be fair coin. Very difficult. Maybe even a new coin just taken from just taken out from a bag, from just issued by a bank. Even that need not be 100% correct coin, 100% unbiased coin. Some manufacturing defect might be there, or something might be there. So this is about this chapter. So its first part deals with experimental probability, where different experiments are there. You want to do any kind of you call practicals here, you are most welcome to do that, and they will be very interesting. And second part depends upon the classical probability. Again, you talk about the coin, you talk about the cards, very interesting. And then you talk about balls coming out from a bag, etc., etc. All these 3-4 classical examples are there. Dices, 1 dice, 2 dices, 3 dices. All that is very classical kind of, theoretical kind of probability. So in a way, it's very good that students will be able to compare the classical probability and the experimental probability. Now, when anybody is doing research, now some people ask me that mathematics is not needed in medical science. I think if you have to do research, naturally your research, how will you collaborate your research? Unless and until you take statistical data, it will not come out anything. So where does statistics come from? Where does probability come from? It comes from mathematics only. So anyway, this is what is there, and I think the wonderful chapter. You will enjoy teaching it, and children will also enjoy learning it. Last comes. So as I said, this chapter on 7th chapter, which is on introduction to probability, is a mix of 9th as well as 10th. Coming to the 8th chapter, predicting what comes next. So once I say predicting what comes next, what comes to my mind is that maybe I'm talking about probability, but I'm not talking about probability. Exploring the sequences and progressions. So in bracket, I've written AP and GP. So that is actually what this chapter is all about. Arithmetic progression comes from class 10th. Geometric progression comes from class 11th. So this book, they have practically drawn data from class 8th to class 11th many times. Now, but how much of it is taken there? So when you teach arithmetic progressions in class 10th, when you teach arithmetic progressions in class 10, there are 2-3 main things you are teaching. That, okay, an, that means nth term. Then Sn, that is sum up to nth terms. Sigma Sn, that is sum of first and natural numbers, and so on. 3-4 things are there. You can see that there are only 4 formulas which are there. 2 formulas are for Sn, 1 formula for An, and 1 formula for sigma. There are only 4 formulas to teach in this chapter. And of course, a lot of questions around it which will be there. So instead of that, now what we have is, we have An, because without finding the nth term, naturally you cannot have the arithmetical progression. You also have sigma n, that is what is the sum up to n terms. So suppose there is a boy who is running around a course and running around an obstacle course. First obstacle he gets 1 point, second obstacle he gets 2 points, and there are 10 obstacles. Very common in army drill and all those things. So how many points can he get if he clears all of them, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, and finally it comes to what? It comes to, okay, 55. And of course, that is how you use, you can use the formula sigma n equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. But the formula for Sn, that means sum up to n terms, that has not been discussed here. वो नहीं है यहाँ पर. Then it comes to GP. Now GP, again there are similar formulas. One is for the nth term, Sn, or An, sorry, not Sn, An, and then one formula is for Sn, the sum up to n terms. Sum up to n terms has 2 different formulas, one if common ratio is greater than 1, one if common ratio is less than 1. But that Sn is again not being discussed here. Only the nth term, that is An, has been discussed here. So this is what is there about this particular book. Now, this book is only the part 1 of the syllabus. Part 2 of the syllabus is yet expected to come. It might come in October, it might come in September. Only CBSE people can tell you. I cannot tell you, nobody else can tell you. And even I don't think they know when it is going to come. They must be working hard on it. Their style of working is very much different from ours. That, okay, so many people get together, and I've worked with CBSE people and I know it's very difficult to work there because too much of discussion goes on. We don't need that much discussion. 3-4 discussions are okay for us. They will discuss it 10 times, 15 times. So that is why they will take a lot of time. So second part of the book is still to come. So as and when it comes, naturally we know the syllabus. Syllabus has already been discussed, but we don't know the depth of syllabus. Like, okay, I say coordinate geometry, fine. Coordinate geometry has many things. How much to teach, how much not to teach, what to teach, what not to teach. That those things are always there. So we can't tell you about that. Syllabus is of course available. So if you see the syllabus, you can find out, like what are the different chapters which are still to come. As and when it comes, I think within 1.5 months or maximum 2 months, we will be definitely ready for it. So this is about what is the content of the book. I come to the thing called chapter design. See, chapter design is very important in any textbook. Unless and until the chapter, and if chapter design keeps varying, one chapter teaches you something else, some other way, another goes some other way, then naturally it will be difficult for you to understand. So anyway, we are talking about chapter design. Each chapter is divided in subunits in the same way as Ganita Manjari. We have kept even the titling same. We have not really done too much about titling. A little bit here and there is okay, but otherwise we have not done. We have tried to keep the structure very same. As we said earlier, that we are not against Ganita Manjari. We are not competing with Ganita Manjari. We are running with Ganita Manjari. I hope you get my point. That our purpose is not to say that Ganita Manjari, you leave Ganita Manjari, you take our book. No. You take Ganita Manjari, you take our book also. Because Ganita Manjari will help you. Ganita Manjari will tell you what to do, and we will tell you how to do. That is what is the purpose behind. So I'll go on. Like you can see, Ganita Manjari is shown in black because the cover is black. And Golden Mathematics is shown in golden because the word golden appears there. Introduction. So we have also given introduction, but our introduction is brief, to the point. We don't go into stories that so and so fellow did so and so thing and he goes. You see, every teacher has got his or her own way of introducing. So when I was teaching my classes, I would introduce this lesson in a very interesting way. So if you permit me, I will try to tell you how it used to be there. You must have heard about Cartesian geometry. Now this is called Cartesian geometry. Why is it called Cartesian geometry? Because it was practically proposed by or invented by or whatever you call it by René Descartes. René Descartes, he was one of those great European mathematicians. And how did he start with this? He was actually lying down. He had a very strange habit that he would lie down in the bed and start thinking by looking at the roof. छत को देखते देखते he used to start thinking that roof used to be his canvas. So if you have seen that movie, I don't remember the name, तारे ज़मीन पर, उसमें भी ऐसा ही होता है. He starts thinking that something is happening in air. So maybe somewhat like that. He would think that this is a canvas and he saw there was a lizard or an insect moving on it. Then how to describe the position of the lizard? He was a mathematician, let me tell you. So to describe that position, he thought that, okay, this position is so much from one side. In trying the way to describe that how that insect is moving, the movement of that insect, he invented what is called coordinate geometry. Now, coordinate geometry has many uses. You can see all maps, locations on your mobile, they keep appearing. If you book an Uber, you Uber on an Ola or something, you can see that car is moving. And even if you can use locations, maps, so many things, so there it is using. There were many good ways of introducing. I just told one, there could be many, many more ways. So we have left that to you, that how do you introduce it? But we have told you the concept, which is same way. The second point is settling in. Settling in means basically, again, it is talking about what do you mean by coordinate axis, points, x coordinate, y coordinate. So again, we are talking only about the concept. We are not talking about the story behind it, because that is something you will be able to do it better. Like, we will tell you only one story, you will have hundreds of them in your mind. So naturally, it is better that we leave that thing to you. 1.3, the 2D Cartesian system. So same way again, we have restricted ourselves to the concept part only, that what is the Cartesian system, how does it work, what do you mean by x coordinate, what do you mean by y coordinate, things like those. Then there are some solved examples. Now this you can see that in Ganita Manjari, the solved examples are either very few or not so many, or not so many or very few rather. And so we have tried to give a lot of them, and we have tried to cover each and every concept by giving a solved example about it. Because after all, what is the point in giving a concept? The concept, if you give a concept, then you must also have something about the concept. So that is why we have given the solved example. Now for Ganita Manjari, there is exercise 1.1. We have provided the solution to exercise 1.1. Now when we give the solution, we give a very explanatory solution. It is not that we just solved it like a student will solve it. We have solved it the way it is there to explain it to the student, keeping it short and crisp, and we have explained it very well. As you will see it in the book, whenever you get the sample copy of it. Then there are certain things called think and reflect. Now, as NEP mentions, NEP National Education Policy and NCF 2023, they talk about cognitive thinking. That unless and until cognitive thinking is there, we are not going to get anything out of mathematics. So all of you are very good cognitive thinkers. That is why you are mathematics teachers. Otherwise, you would not have been mathematics teachers. So cognitive thinking we have to develop. If you must have heard that there is already a report that first time in the history perhaps, it is found that IQ levels are dropping because of use of social media. This is what the report says. I don't know exactly if it's true or not. That I don't know. But anyway, so it is our job to really make the students think cognitively. So that is why things like think and reflect are there. So if you have think and reflect, you can also use it as a discussion point in the class. So we have provided this solution to that think and reflect also to give you the right thinking line. That you start thinking in some other direction. So instead of that, think it in the proper direction. Again, there are solved examples. Think and reflect is again there. You see, we are trying to match step by step. We are not saying that you have done it, we are not going to do it. No, you have done it, we'll do it better. That is what is our objective. Then there is exercise 1.2. So same way we have provided solution to exercise 1.2. Now here comes the distance formula I was talking about. So distance formula is there. Distance formula we have talked only about the concept of distance formula. We are not discussing that some plane left from here and landed there or what. So our point is just to discuss the formula. Now that example is something you can provide, provided you have time. If you don't have time, now how to handle that? You all are experienced teachers. I don't need to tell you. So only concepts are there. As I said that there is a question. The section formula has not been asked, but there is a question about trisection of points, trisection of join of 2 points. Now, unless and until you know the section formula, how are you going to do that trisection of 2 points? Now, for that, I can tell you here, but I think it will be better that you read it in the book. It's a very simple way I have tackled it, and finally you will find out that way. And I really regret that. Why did I not think of it when I was a teacher? I'm thinking of it now. Maybe the opportunity came now. I didn't come. Then every chapter in the book has an end of chapter exercise. If you remember, there used to be miscellaneous exercises. So instead of miscellaneous exercise, now they are calling it end of chapter. Same thing. There's a saying in English, old wine, new bottle. So something like that. So end of chapter exercise is same as the miscellaneous exercise. It practically takes questions from, it gives questions from all the chapter, whatever the chapter is. So this is a very important exercise. And I say that, and I suggest that all students should do this exercise very well. So for that purpose, we have provided a solution to end of chapter exercise. Then comes, now this is something now we deviate from what NCERT does. Now we are not giving chapter summary because we are giving the theory of each chapter already. When I say concepts only, so I am actually mentioning the theory of that particular subunit. Like section formula, sorry, distance formula, I'm mentioning what the distance formula is. So that is why I don't need to give chapter summary. So that is why I'm not giving it. Then comes exam corner. See, what is the end of any kind of education? Now, end of any kind of education is that naturally you have to take an examination. Agar exam nahi hai, to फिर naturally there is no point in studying. So, I mean, unless and until there is assessment, that what assessment is there, what you have been assessed for, some assessment has to be there. Otherwise, there is no point in teaching. So they saw that for that purpose, we have provided an exam corner. Now, this is completely solved. There is a MCQ and assertion reason. The MCQs are very important because in class 10th, now most of us make the 9th class paper in the same way as the 10th class paper has been made. So in the 10th class paper, the first set is 20 questions. In those 20 questions, 18 are MCQs and 2 are also MCQs, but assertion reason type. So that is the same way we have also adopted. So here again, MCQs are there. Somewhere there are 20, somewhere there are 25, depending upon an assertion reason. Somewhere there might be 4, there might be 6, depending upon what type of topic we are on. So with every topic, it might not be possible to make 15 MCQs, but in some topics, it may be possible to make even 25 MCQs. So according to the topic, we have done that. We're not restricting ourselves to the number any such. Then very short answer type questions. See, CBSE doesn't ask 1 mark questions anymore because 1 mark questions are actually covered in the MCQ itself. So there is no point in asking 1 mark question. So that is why this is a 2 mark question. Short answer type questions, very short comes to short. Short means, okay, very short means that there are 2 value points, 2 things which you have to do in the question. 1 mark question is one value point. That means only 1 thing you have to do in the question. Short answer type or short type, there will be 3 marks. Long type, 4 marks or 5 marks, depending upon class to class, depending upon your way of thinking or way of how many marks you have available. And last is case study. Case study is very important. Case study is a true application of whatever you have learned. So we have tried to give a case study. We have not tried to give, we have given a case study question also. So if you see this exam corner is exactly giving you a practice for the paper itself. पूरा का पूरा paper covered है. So देख रहे हैं आप, so naturally इसमें MCQs भी हैं, assertion reason, very short, everything is there, and we have tried to cover each and everything. Then comes exercise. Now this is unsolved. Naturally you have to test the student in the end. किसी तरह तो test करना पड़ेगा उसको. So how to test him? We have given unsolved, but answers are provided. Now it should not happen that, okay, I'm not providing you the answer. So students will keep asking each other or maybe perhaps wondering that this answer is done correctly or incorrectly. So that is why we have done this. So we have made sure that our answers are 99.99% correct. Why I leave that 0.001%, you all can understand. So here again, the same thing is there. There are MCQs, there are assertion reason questions. Assertion reason questions are also kind of MCQs only. The only difference is that the perhaps here there are 4 options which are fixed, and any one of them might be correct. Regarding assertion reason, I have a very strange, or I have a rather very peculiar observation. You see, normally A part is that for part 1 or part A is that okay, assertion is correct, reason is correct, and both are, and assertion, reason is the correct for assertion. B is assertion and reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of A. C is again, A is correct, R is incorrect. D is only there in which A is incorrect. So I used to teach my students that if you find that the assertion is incorrect, you can straight away jump to point D. That means option D. Because in all 3 options, assertion was always correct. First option also assertion was correct. Second option also assertion is correct. Third option also assertion is correct. So only there is one option, the assertion is not correct. So straight away you can jump. These are some short tricks you have to teach the students. So you already struck upon this. Maybe if you haven't, you can strike upon that from now. So again, same way there are very short questions, long questions, case study, everything is there. There is one question asked from me many times, that there is some different book for class 9th which has come up, which is called the advanced level. Now that advanced level book is there for one reason, that there are people who say that okay, we are preparing for the IIT exam or something like this. Then what about us? हमारे लिए तो कुछ नहीं किया आपने, we have not done anything for us. So for that purpose, they have come out with a book. It is optional. You can take a paper in the end, and that paper has marks obtained in that paper are not to be counted anywhere. Still, they are working it out that how it will be handled and all that. So that book, we are also trying to publish a solution, etc. to that book. That book is available on the internet, but many different publications will definitely come out with more rich material than that. So that book will also come out with that book. So anybody who is asking me this question directly on my WhatsApp. So anyway, when that comes out, we will also come out with it. So we are already working on it. So that's what is there. In the end of the paper, now this is true for each and every chapter. I have compared only one chapter, but this is true for each and every chapter. You can see what is the difference. I don't mean to compare, but I'm just trying to tell you that how we have tried to improve upon Ganita Manjari. How we are trying to work hand in hand with Ganita Manjari. We are trying to strengthen what Ganita Manjari does. We are not opposed to Ganita Manjari. So tomorrow somebody files a case against me that you are talking like this. I am not talking like this. I am saying that I am here to help Ganita Manjari. I am here to help the students who are using Ganita Manjari. I am not saying that I am here to say, okay, don't use Ganita Manjari or this. No, not at all. So again, you can see that whatever we have focused upon is that number one is that we have tried to somehow take away that story, introduction, and all that part, which naturally you do on your own. And maybe you're not using what is given in the book. You're using your own, so naturally the way you can use. I talked about René Descartes, that how I used to introduce that. One of the ways I used to introduce that. There are many other ways you can introduce it. Then we have not used that because that is different for every teacher, every classroom. So obviously we can't cater to each and every classroom. So we have not done it. Then solution, we have provided solution to each and everything, which is there in the book. Idea is not to tell you that, look, you can't do it, I can do it. Idea is to save your time. Idea is to, instead of going in the wrong direction, you come back in the right direction. Now the NCERT does is that NCERT book does not provide answers to the questions. So even if you do those questions and you are still not sure, well, we don't want you to keep wondering and unsure of yourself. So for that purpose also you can have a look at this. NCERT is not providing answers to any questions. They have not provided answers to any questions right from class 6. I am thinking about 6, 7, 8, 9 also. No answers are provided. Maybe they do so in the next edition of theirs. Right now it is not there. So instead of making you wondering about what is there, you can at least check the answer from the from our book Golden Mathematics. So this is second thing which we have to say. Third thing is the practice work we give you, as we had said in our earlier uh, introduction, that we are giving all sorts of exam practice. One practice is solved, one set is solved, one set is unsolved. Solved to make you all understand how our questions are to be answered. Unsolved to make you practice how you are going to give you a real kind of an experience that how this are to be done. So this is what is there in the book. Each and every chapter we have done, how we have tried to improve upon the whole thing, or rather hold your hand and make you go forward. Then at the end of the book, we are also providing 2 sample papers. There is sample paper 1 and sample paper 2. These are based on CBSE pattern. Again, these are unsolved. And if you say solved sample paper, I don't think so that makes. If there is a book which says, okay, we are giving 10 sample papers, 5 solved, 5 unsolved, that is okay. But we are given solution, everything. So now naturally no point in solving a sample paper. So because at the end of every chapter, we are giving a lot of solutions. So exam corner, we are giving a lot of solutions. So obviously there's no point in solving the paper. So papers are unsolved, but we are providing you the answer. We're not leaving you in the lurch that, okay, you do what you like. I don't know you are correct or not correct. So that kind of thing we are not doing. So with this, I come to an end. Now I will take some questions which have been sent to me on my WhatsApp. I have received some questions on my WhatsApp sent to me by my publisher. So one by one, I'll try to take them. Mr. Rohtas, if there are any more questions, please send them.
Yes, Rachna ma'am will take the Q&A, sir.
Okay, fine.
Once you complete these, then I will.
Okay, there are some questions which I have. So more I get, I'll answer more. I don't mind. You can ask me 100 questions. No problem with that. See, first question is somebody's just mentioned one word, coordinate geometry. So I think I explained that chapter in great detail. So perhaps that is what is there. One thing more I want to say, that there is a concept which says that if you want to learn new things, you have to unlearn certain things. So जब तक आप इसको भूलेंगे नहीं, जो आप जिस लेवल में घुसे हुए हैं या जहां पे बैठे हुए हैं, वहां से आप नया लर्न नहीं कर पाएंगे. So key word is, or key phrase is, unlearn and relearn. There is nothing new which is there, but how it is to be taught, pedagogy is new. Sequencing is new. So we are still stuck up with, everybody will be stuck up. I was also stuck up for 2-3 months. It took me 2-3 months to get rid of that thinking that, no, this has to be done like this, or that has to be done like this. So first mention, somebody has mentioned coordinate geometry. So I think I have discussed that coordinate geometry in great detail. Even then there is any doubt, you can send it to the publishers. They'll send it to me. Even if I have to reply you by email, I'll do it. Then comes linear polynomial. So again, what is linear polynomial? So we have already discussed what linear polynomial is. Somebody is talking about chapter number 2, linear polynomials. So there is nothing new in this linear polynomial, as it is just a part of what used to be there in class 9. Some part has been taken from class 7th and 8th also, but that depends only on the definition part of it, that what is the definition, what do you mean by term, coefficient, etc. So linear polynomial is about that only. Now, again, you all have read in class 11th that y is equal to mx plus c is the equation of line. Right now, at the moment, they don't call it mx plus c, they call it y equal to ax plus b. So in place of m, they have a, and in place of c, they have b. So that is what is, m is your slope and b is your b is your y intercept. So again, the same thing, very simple thing, which is, of course, it is coming from class 11, but not too much of it is coming here. Class 11 coordinate geometry, lines and all that has been discussed in great detail. Now, all that is not here. Only one part from that has been taken, that what do you mean by y equal to mx plus c. So this is just that part only. Exam pattern and internal assessment. Now, exam pattern, of course, I have already discussed with you. There are same pattern as it is there in class 10. Of course, you're not bound by it. It's up to you. But most of the schools follow the same pattern as the class 10 pattern is there. That first 20 questions are MCQs, then next 4 are this, 5 are this, section A, B, C, D, E. The same way we have made in every chapter, we have made these sections A, B, C, D, E. Same way as they are in the are in the exam paper. So, of course, internal assessment is very different. Internal assessment keeps changing. Every year, board will ask you to do it in some other manner, but that is for 10th, not for 9th. You want to do it the same way for 9th, you are most welcome to do it. You want to develop some method of yours, every school will be developing a different method. So, obviously, I can't say what could be your internal assessment. So, anyway, you have to do that. And as you know that there is something called HPC, Holistic Progress Card, which is around the corner. So some people at the CBSE are still working for it. In fact, I attended a HPC workshop in CBSE, in NCERT some days back. So again, they are also working on it, and it might come in 6 months, maybe not this year, next year it will come. Then it will become more and more clear to you how this is to be done. But of course, every internal assessment is something a school has to decide. The 4 teachers or 3 teachers who teach say class 9th and 10th, they will decide which class how to do it. I can't tell anything about that. Cartesian plane. Well, the plane in which you have x-axis and y-axis is called a Cartesian plane. Anything can be Cartesian plane. Your computer screen can be a Cartesian plane. You can see x-axis, horizontal axis, and vertical axis. The wall in front of you can be a Cartesian plane. Your roof can be a Cartesian plane. I talked about René Descartes. He used to look at his roof and imagine that point is moving or this or something like this is happening. So this could anything like that could be a Cartesian plane. Key changes in the syllabus. I have discussed that already, that whatever has changed. Now this is not a change in the syllabus. This is a new syllabus altogether. They have taken part something from here, something from there. So they are the best judges of that. They are masters of that. They know how to do it. So that is what they are doing. So somebody is asking me cube and cube root methods. I don't think so. Cube root is needed anywhere. But anyway, if you want to find cube root, one method is by factorization, as you normally do. Maybe somebody is asking from class 8. In class 8, you have a chapter on square and cubes. So maybe somebody is asking from that chapter. So cube and cube roots means perhaps that, okay, you want to find cube root. So cube root, how will you find cube root? Cube, so finding cube is very easy. You have to multiply it 5 into 5 into 5, 5 cube and something like that. So cube root, either by factorization or there is a method which is given in Vedic maths which you can use that. But that method of Vedic maths is not mentioned in the NCERT book. So you want to do it as a practice work or project work or something like that, or some extra activity, you are most welcome to do it. Ma'am, can you please send me more questions?
Yes, sir. I will speak out the questions and you can answer them.
Okay, fine.
So the first question, in fact, it's an observation, is the congruence of triangles should be there. So this was an observation by one of the educators.
See, what should be there and what should not be there is something I cannot answer, because congruence of triangles, congruent figures has been already taught in some other class. Geometric twins, there's a chapter in, I think, class 8, geometric twins. So obviously congruence they have mentioned there. And then you don't know what is going to come in class 10th. Right now you have only syllabus of class 9th in front of you. So maybe this chapter on what you call congruent figures is already there. So it has been done already. So maybe that is why they are not asking you this. They're not giving it here. It has not been done very rigorously, but it has been done. So I think class 8th book, it is already there. It is called Geometric Twins. Yeah, any other question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. The next question is part 2 will also be a part of standard 9th teaching. The educators are trying to ask whether part 2 will also be a part of class 9th syllabus.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. If you have seen the syllabus, they mentioned, I think, 14 chapters. So out of the 14, only 8 are here. So 6 are still to come. Yes. So that will come in this Ganita Manjari part 2. This is Ganita Manjari part 1. As you can see very clearly, it is written here part 1. So obviously part 2 is yet to come.
Okay, so there is one question which few educators have asked. It is, what about the starred questions in the book? Like, there are questions which have
Very
starred.
good question. Very, very good question. According to what is mentioned in the preface, starred questions are only to be done, they cannot be asked in the examination. But I really don't know how many teachers will not ask them in the examination. According to what is mentioned in preface, I think I can even tell you the page, perhaps, maybe I remember. Yes. There is a page up to about the book here. Further, some chapters, including sections marked with star. I hope this is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So it's very clear from here that these are designed to engage, motivate students in extended inquiry and project-based work. So these are not to be asked in the examination according to them. So these are not for that purpose. These are like odds and all those things which are there. But I don't know whether teachers will not be doing them or something. Well, of course, everybody will be doing them. But most likely that it's up to you and your school. You have to decide whether you want to ask them in the examination or not ask them in the examination. Yeah. Anything else?
Okay. Yes, sir. Many concepts are not explained, but in the end of exercise, their sums are there. For example, cubic identities are not having practice exercise, but in the end, they have asked for the questions. So how to convince students to develop confidence in such topics or concepts?
See, that is what I said, that there are learning gaps, like I said that there were learning gaps, and we have covered those learning gaps in our book already. Like I gave this very classical example about that they have asked points of trisection, but they have not mentioned section formula anywhere. So that is why we developed a technique that how, from whatever you know, how can you do it? Same way we have done in many chapters.
Okay, so the next question is, will the paper pattern be the same, or will there be any changes in the paper pattern?
This is something you have to ask the CBSE, and I'm not CBSE. So most likely you can feel that, I feel that it will remain the same. It is doing wonderfully. But people in the CBSE may or may not think the way I think. So, and of course, they are going to call the shots, not me. So maybe it might change, it might not change. That is, we are in no position to answer that. If any change is made by them, then we will definitely make a corresponding. We will be the first ones to make a corresponding change in our books.
A lot of queries are there for advanced maths, the books.
Yeah.
So they want to know whether to proceed for advanced math along with standard maths, how to do that.
Okay,
And
I'll tell that.
also, are the chapters for only those students who want to opt for class 11? And yes, majorly, yeah. How the advanced math syllabus has to be taught in the classroom. So majorly, a lot of queries are on that also.
Let me first clear this thing about advanced maths. See, there is Ganita Manjari, which everybody has to study. All students studying in class 9, CBSE board, CBSE have to study. Then there is advanced math. Advanced math is optional. Optional means what? Optional means that you want to study it, you study it. You don't want to study it, you don't study it. And I think every teacher would like to see that their students are always doing the best in their lives, not only in the school exam, but they're always doing well. Many of them get into engineering or this or that. Now, almost every student comes and tells me, I mean, now, of course, I'm retired for the last 3 years. Even now, I get calls from parents that I want my son to go to IIT. How should I prepare for it? Shall I take this book? Shall I take that book? So that is an answer to that only. So first of all, this advanced maths is there. It has got, I think, only 6 chapters. And most of these chapters are very basic chapters taken from class 11 syllabus. They are nothing like some people join, the Fitji and this and that. The whole plethora of those are there in the newspaper every day. It is nothing like what they are teaching or something like that. And whatever they are teaching, I don't know whether that is even needed or not, because they have to do something. So they are doing that. But whatever they have picked for the NCERT, and I mean this advanced maths, that is a wonderful selection. And that will take them towards IIT. I mean, it will at least provide some kind of basis. Now, before you learn a language, you have to learn the alphabet of that language. So, and naturally, going to NC and going to IIT means that you have to do something else, isn't it? Ordinary doing maths will not help you. You have to do something more. What something more? कहाँ से आएगा वो? So that has to come from this only. So that is why this has been provided here. You can download it from the CBSE website. There is a very simple, I think, 40-page or 50-page booklet which is there. But what I am not sure about is that 40-page booklet, will it be able to do all that you want to do, or do you again need help like the way we are doing it? So that is why we are actually working on that, and very soon we will be able to provide you that also. It is not compulsory. Number one, it's optional. So you want to do it, you do it. It's not optional. It is optional for the school to provide some guidance for it. Whether they want to provide any guidance for it or don't want to provide any guidance for it, that depends on the school. Now, many schools are too much stretched. They don't have teachers available or resources available to do that. So obviously they will be not doing it. But many schools will be having resources and teachers and everybody and willingness also. Naturally, who will not like to see that your student, you meet somebody after 10 years and says, sir, I was your student. Naturally, ये तो सबसे अच्छा लगता है ना देखने में. Once I was traveling by air and the pilot came to me. He saw me perhaps in a CCTV or what, I don't know. I was sleeping. He woke me up, touched my feet. So I was wondering that why is the pilot touching my feet? He told me, sir, I was your student. I studied mathematics from you. You taught wonderful trigonometry. That is why I became a pilot. I don't know how trigonometry helps you to become a pilot. That I don't know, but anyway, he did. So all of us like to do that, isn't it? So for that, you have to invest something today. Only then you will get back something 10 years later. So this is a very good opportunity for you. If you want, you can, everything is optional, nothing compulsory. Everything is optional. And some people are still asking me about that star thing question. I'll read that from that. Some problems in each chapter are marked with an asterisk. These problems require higher order thinking skills, that means thoughts. Deeper reasoning are meant for those students who wish to explore the topic in great depth. Further, some chapters include sections marked star designed to engage motivated students in inquiry and project-based work. These are form of enrichment material, including technology-enabled explorations, open-ended tasks, and additional reading, and encourage students independent inquiry and deeper engagement of ideas. Questions marked with star are intended for enrichment only and not to be assessed or included in the examination. So some people are still asking me that you have to include them in the examination or not. This is what they have mentioned in their book only. So page 6 of this preface, it is very well written here. You can see it here. So I hope now everything is clear to everybody. So again, star thing also I have told you, and this advanced maths also I have told you. Advanced maths, if you want a student to study, it will take him only about 12 to 15 hours to finish it. So maybe 12 to 15 hours means that maybe 20 classes, each class is 45 minutes or so. So maybe 20 classes for people to finish it. So we are working on it. We'll coming back on it. Yes, ma'am, any other question?
Yes, there is one question, although I am not very clear. This is by Mr. Sumant Kumar. It says, good evening. May I know past criteria for securing 33% separately starts from the current session? So I am not too sure.
See, we are authors of a book, and this is an administrative manner. But 33% is always a passing criteria, so I don't think there should be any doubt about it. There are some people who tell you that maybe you're talking about class 10th. There are some people who tell you that if you get 30%, then 3% marks are grace marks or something like that. Well, I have been a CBSE evaluator and a coordinator for many years, and I don't think so something like this is anyway there. Whatever they have to do, I mean, give somebody some marks or something like that. So that they do on their own. It is not for the teachers to do it. In your school, if you are talking about class 9th internal examinations, now if somebody has to be given grace marks or not given grace marks, that is something your principal and your administration will decide. And of course, it will be decided there and then. So if there are a lot of students failing, as there is in case of, there used to be, I remember one year there were about 35% people were failing. So you can't fail 35% people, you'll feel like yeah, 35% people fail हो रहे हैं तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Government क्या जवाब देंगे? So what do they did was they gave 10 marks grace to everybody. Now how many were failing? Now only maybe 8% were failing or 10% were failing. So that is okay, fine. So then okay, make the grace marks as 12%, 12 marks. So if we give you 12 marks, then only 2% are failing or 3% are failing. That is why nowadays you have CBSE examination and the result is very good for everybody. Earlier it used to be that. So how much grace is to be given, etc. That is for a particular year has to be decided by somebody in the board exam, etc. We can't decide that. We are right now writing the book, not about that. So internal examination, of course, your school has to decide. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Sanjeev Kalia has asked a question. Should theorems be done in a practical way or theoretically in the classroom?
Theoretically, you mean, what do you mean by practical way? Perhaps you mean that show them that, okay, angle in a semicircle is the right angle, then you work it out that way, some project or some activity or something. What is needed, if the proof is given in the book, then you must also do the proof theoretically. If the proof is not given, only the theorem is mentioned, because somewhere they have given the proof, somewhere they have not given the proof. If the proof is actually what you want, that we want that the student should know how to apply the theorem. We are not much interested in whether he knows the proof, but if they have given the proof, that means that you have to teach the proof also. Otherwise, you can do it in the practical manner. I think that is the best solution to do this. We have also done it in the same manner.
Okay. There are a few more questions.
Yes.
What is for advanced maths? Will there be textbook by NCERT? Will the NCERT release a textbook? I think you've already answered that.
Yeah, textbook is already there. You can right now you can download it from the CBSE website.
Yeah. And it's not a question actually. They're asking, is Golden Publishers going to guide us? Yes, Golden Publishers is going to be there with you always.
Definitely. Already doing.
There is one more question. Yeah, one question regarding exams is there any possibility that the theoretical part, such as history of content or diagrammatic representation of algebraic expressions, may come in exams?
No, I don't think so. But anyway, this depends on who is making the paper. No? Like in a 9th class paper is an internal examination. It doesn't come from the CBSE. So whether you want your students to, I think that is more like project work and activity. It is done and finished. That is much better. Because asking that in the examination, it will look like you are making a history paper rather than a maths paper. So I think if you tackle it in project work, some activity or some other class activities, I think that is a better idea and not included in the examination. However, you are free to do that, but I don't think it is very likely to do it. Yes, ma'am.
Tanushri ma'am is again asking, please answer when 9th part 2 will be available. I think sir has already answered that. And yes, that's all the questions that I got from the educators. So if you have any more questions, please put them up in your comments. Okay, Mrs. Kumita Kumari is saying, can you please share a sample question paper of advanced maths?
Not right now, but definitely once we put the book, we will be able to do it.
With the current CBSE emphasis on competency-based and case-based questions for class 9, how can we best design problems for lines and angles that test real-world spatial understanding, like architecture, structural framing, or navigation, without overwhelming students with complex algebraic multi-step equations?
Sorry, I didn't really get the second part of the question.
Sir, I'll read it again. With the current CBSE emphasis on competency-based and case study questions for class 9,
Yeah.
how can we best design problems for lines and angles that test real-world spatial understanding, such as architecture, structural framing, or navigation, without overwhelming students with complex algebraic multi-step equations?
I got it. But lines and angles is not in this part of the book. I think it's in the other part of the book, not this one. So first of all, this is true for whatever has been asked is true for each and every chapter, not for one chapter only. That how to design a problem which is a real world problem. Now that is what case studies are for. And we have put case studies, at least 2 case studies we have put in every chapter. So already they are there. You want to design it yourself. For that, first step is that you read a lot of case studies from different books, and you need to have observed many things around you. Like for example, lines and angles. There is a one very popular case study question which is there, that there is a slanting roof. Say some roofs are there na, which slant like this and like this. So there is a slanting roof, and it represents intersecting lines, it represents parallel lines, and so many other things you see, and you can make different questions out of that. So something like that, you have to keep your observation skills very high. And first of all, you have to think of some concepts that look this XYZ concept I'm going to ask. Like from probability, I want to ask something about, okay, maybe tossing of coins or something like this, or some kind of thing where experimental probability could be there. Like for example, I go to my school every day, and I go to by say a city bus. And every day the city bus comes at around, it's expected to come at 7, it comes at 7:10. So I start thinking that chance of city bus coming on time is what percent, so something like this is there, like this is just something observation around me which I made it into a question. Same way, you have to observe many things. First, you have to be very clear about the topics. And once you are clear about the topics, then everything happening around you, you have to be aware of them also. You have to be really very keen on making those questions. Only then you will be able to make it. However, if to help you out, we already have 2 case study questions in every chapter. And maybe in the next version of the book, we might put more case study questions, or we might add some case study material, etc. to the book. Right now, we were thinking, racing against time, and practically working around 2 a.m. in the night also to make this book. So anyway, in future times, well, it's a good suggestion. Mr. Swamya, please note this suggestion, so that we can put some case study material, more case study material in the books. More case study and more assertion, reason, worksheets, etc. in the book we can keep for that purpose.
So I think one last question which a lot of educators are asking is, by what time should part 1 be complete?
See, it is the first time this book is being taught, so teacher has to read first and then teach it. So I understand that. So, and of course, the next part will be going to have 6 chapters or something like this. So that means total 8 plus 6, 14 chapters are there. So I don't know when are the half-yearly exams in your schools. Mostly half-yearly exams happen in September or October, before the Shara break, Diwali break, or something like that, or between the Shara and Diwali, or whatever might be the reason. So most of the people have exams in September. Ideal would have been to finish part 1 before half-yearly examination. But please don't rush through it. Enjoy it. Let the children also enjoy it. So maybe you are able to teach at least 6 chapters before that. Now, many of you must have started in April, but the book came late. Book did not come in April. It came somewhat late, little late here and there. So suppose you started on 1st June. And every month you are able to take 2 chapters. So June, July, August. So 3 months, at least 6 chapters you could have taught. So avoid that long chapter, which was that long chapter I'm talking about. A chapter on perimeter and area. If you avoid that long chapter, then you will be easily able to teach 6 chapters. So of course, every school has to decide on either on themselves that what to do. But at least 6 chapters should be taught. So that remaining part also you are able to teach the remaining part. Of course, right now the problem is that you are reading, understanding, and then teaching. So for that purpose, we said that we are making your job simpler. We are making things easy for you. So that is why we have made this book. This is one of the reasons also that we have made this book for you. As we had said, we are saving teachers' preparation time. So how are we saving teachers' preparation time? This is one of the ways that you don't struggle with what answer to give, how to give, etc. Am I correct or am I not correct? So somebody else has already done it, whether it's correctly done it, so you can compare whether you are correct or not correct. So this is one way of doing it. I think 6 chapters, what I feel. Maybe your school feels in a different manner. So that I don't know. But you will have to complete all the 14 chapters before March next year, so that in the March, by end of February, so that you can take the examination. Yes, ma'am.
So I think that will be all, sir. Thank you very much for guiding us regarding the latest NCERT Class 9 Mathematics book, Ganita Manjari Part 1, and explaining everything in such wonderful detail about the new pattern of CBSE, and also giving us an insight into how things are done at CBSE. I would also like to thank Soumya sir, all our panelists and our distinguished teachers for sparing their valuable time and participating in this webinar and making it a huge success. And last but not the least, and in fact, it's not least, it's a very important part. I would like to thank all the New Age webinar panelists and team members for their hard work in making this webinar happen and making it a success. For teachers, you all will receive a feedback form in your WhatsApp group, and they have also shared it on the chat box, as well as the QR code was also visible on the screen. So I would request you to kindly fill and submit the form to download your e-certificates and to receive a specimen copy of the Golden Study Material. We would request you to send an email with your details at specimen@newagepublishers.com. But please do not put any messages on the WhatsApp group. So I thank you so much, everyone. And now it's time to take your leave. Thank you once again and good evening.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, पढ़ाई हो जो करनी, जरा भी ना घबराना, गोल्डन बुक्स को अपनाना, अपना इंडिया, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना। कक्षा विषय कोई हो आसान समझ पाना, गोल्डन ही तो है सफलता का पैमाना, गोल्डन ही ला रहा है चेहरे पे मुस्कुराना, मैं गोल्डन का दीवाना, अपना इंडिया, बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना।
Golden presents our best-selling study material for mathematics. Main features of Golden books are: all the books are based on latest NCERT textbooks. and are as per the latest syllabus of CBSE. Important points have been given for each chapter for quick revision. Solution of all the NCERT textual exercises are given. Other important questions for practice and examinations are also given in a very simple language. Objective type question bank is given, which include MCQs, fill in the blanks with answers. Buy golden books for your golden future.